Ah.
And then when I call you out, it somehow you have a problem. Right. So that's where I'm kind of going to start off at. The first poem I'm going to read is actually, how many of you guys live in Brooklyn? So for a while there, like there was this mural of Frida under the Myrtle Broadway stop off the J train. Not the one that's there right now. The one that's there right now is actually good. I like it. It is a pretty good representation of who she is. The one before it was a caricature. And I was dating a white guy, and he knew that I love Frida, love what she's about, and he took me to it, and I was just like, yeah, this is all kinds of wrong. Like, this is not so I wrote a poem about it. That's in the chat book. After seeing a mural of Frida under the Myrtle Broadway stop in Bed-Stuy, look at her eyes and lips. They're huge. She's all caricature, I say. The knot in my throat is more than I'm drunk. It's less, I don't know, and is that how you see me? Bug-eyed, thick-lipped. You'll never understand, so at home, we make a joke of it. My ancestors invented the sidewalk. What did yours invent other than slavery? That's not really funny, forgive me. What I meant was, what did your predecessors create other than ownership over another's work? Let's pretend we're strangers. It's easier this way. At the Dove, 3 cherry tarts. I'm not stilled. Remember, you're just a white boy running around Bed-Stuy as if you belong there.
Ooh.
So I read a lot of expressive poetry based off art. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna say that was the last. That was the most recent one I wrote. The next one is kind of like, it started out a little petty, I'll be honest about it. Not as petty as the last one. This one's pretty petty. But after I wrote it, I did like post it up on Instagram, and like the person it about, his sister saw it, she liked it, and I was like, you know what, it's fair game. Sister liked it, it's fair game. But I do feel like it really calls attention to the way that like women are really forced to compete against each other in the way that things are kind of set up right now. Poem for April Walters of Ontario, Montclair, California. Because you dot your I's with hearts. Because you spell love as L-U-V, and I hate when people are lazy with words that have one syllable. This poem is born out of anger, out of how dare she, how is it that you don't know I exist? And as a Latina, visibility is always an issue. Because my narrative is speak English. It's rewritten over and over by anyone that looks at me. I have no control over it, not the way I do with this poem. Because I can tell by this card that you're a woman that gets fucked and fucked and fucked, but always wants more than just fucking. I'm sorry, maybe you're not pretty enough, or maybe you don't know how to make men wait for the things they want. Unfortunately, we live in a patriarchy where men are taught that easy means sex on the first date, and that once you give it up, you're unworthy of being married. You see, the difference between us is that I fuck for my own purposes. It's not about fake moaning, and it's not about lube. This pussy is water. It was water before water was water, and you only know the artificial kind, Astroglide or whatever brand Noé had stored in his nightstand before I said, I'll never need that unless you want anal sex. I said a poem should ride off its own melting, and I know this serves to say that it should contain a thrust, a pushing up against that resembles fucking. All right, and this last one.
Wow.
This last one I'm still kind of like working on, but I was just like, you know what, fuck it, this is as good as it might get.
Yes,
A few months ago, they had the Radical Women exhibit at the Brooklyn Museum, which I thought was amazing. I felt so inspired, like just walking through there. I was like, this is a fucking amazing space. And I forget her name, but there was a video of an Afro-Peruana poet. She did a spoken word piece called Negrita Negra. And when I watched it, I just really like, so on my dad's side, part of my family's black. And like, my mom, and it just reminded me like of when I was younger, my mom used to be like, your lips, like she used to call me bimbona, which means like really like thick lips, right? And my mom's not a terrible person. But I think that she's not really aware of like, I think a lot of people are aware of like what that could do as you're growing up, right? So like she would always point out like the things in me that she felt like resembled my father and really associated them with Blackness. And I've never really spoken about it before. Like, I think after I saw that, I like started talking to my friends about it. One day, like, I never do. And I'm like, well, yeah, like, it was just something that I kind of like kept to myself because in some ways I felt there was like some negativity attached to it. So I saw it, and I saw that one piece by her, and I really, really wanted to write a poem after it. When I'm 7, my mother addresses her lineage. By pressing thumbs against cheekbones, pointer pressed against nose, grasping at earlobes, and finally she acknowledges my mouth. When it falls into a smile, a giggle, Bembona, she says. Your gums are darker than mine, Bembona. This is all of your father, skin so dark I feel sinful when I touch it, Bembona. My eyes fall to the ground, Bembona. Think reminder that you're part black, Bembona. That you are lips, eyes, thighs, all object, Bembona. The man you love only accepts these parts of you because they're pleasing, unlike your attitude, Bembona. But he loves the push you give to his pull, Bembona. My love hurts because my existence aches for acceptance, Bembona. Thank you.
That's pretty good.
I'm going to say this a lot. Give it up one more time for Ava. Our next poet, Maria Fernanda Chamorro, is a Black Ecuadorian-American poet whose work explores the breaking poems and translations appeared in the. I'm sorry, I'm having a little much drink.
You invited me, and I'm honored to be here. Thank you so much.
Luna Magazine, and elsewhere. She has received fellowships from Calvin, Canto Mundo, and Vona Voices, and read her work at the MoMA PS1, New York City Poetry Festival, and more, including the New York Aquarium, which I was at, and it was amazing. Amazing. If you want to see something amazing, watch Poets in Front of Fish.
Watch what?
Poets in Front of Fish.
Oh.
Everybody, Maria Fernanda.
I didn't know she was performing.
Okay,
She's cool.
All the Black Latinx in here.
Yes! Woo!
And when I talk about being Black Latinx, I talk about it in a celebratory way. So I just want us to be happy about it. I don't even know why I got a fight like this. I don't do that. So yeah, I'm just gonna jump right into this. So let's see. Also, I just want to say thank you, Meetup. Thank you, Juan Felipe. You know us with 2 names. Love it.
Yes.
Thank you, Dave. Can I actually make this item? Do you guys know Ross Gay? He's an amazing poet. Ross Gay, anybody? Okay, if you don't, look him up. He's dope. Another Black amazing poet. And so this is after his work, and it's for a good friend of mine, Cecilia Monet. And then it's all this. Sorry. Who buries bogatitos in their bedroom? At 3 in the morning, jibaro after jibaro, their corners and curves she tastes, before folding back their plastic canopies, like cocoons of her childhood, rolling about her palm. We're talking marollo, half-eaten, guayaba, kind of intact, dulce de coco for Sunday, y pilone for her, all of which arrived home with me that evening in a United States postal package a month after Maria. Her cardboard box, its size echoes a church pew's songbook, but with the edges kissing between the extra tape to hold long past the weeks of rising and landing helicopters and maybe boats run by hands of postal carriers, softening down La Calle Reus Belvis before finally returning to work that mid-October in San Sebastian, where her father drove hours across Puerto Rico to deliver this mail. How he craved the wind. In his return trip to Castañeda, the town's name scribbled in a thinning ink on the corner of this box, jumping from the jaw of this narrow-ass dented mailbox in the lobby of our New York apartment, in front of which I make a wish to reserve even this first joy for her, my new roommate, Cecilia. I hear Cecilia's giggle soar about our front door, her every bitch, yes, sharpening the creases of her smile, as she tells me of the chemicals being injected into our grocery store peanuts, and shares remedies for sleeping, and even managing to befriend this Leo, because Leos, we don't be befriending everybody. But for the first time, Cecilia and I met, we hit the dance floor, swinging our flower-patterned skirts, giving the wind its backbone. We sang to Celia's Bella Colora, to which we laughed like we'd been sisters years ago, and know which keys we need to be singing in, but don't, even now as the sun lends itself to our kitchen, where Cecilia opens her father's limited edition of Cortázar's Guayana, the torn nude clipping from Primera Hora, centering the words around a photograph of El Chunque, gleaming before and now, how it reminds Cecilia of her father, the adventurous man who would take the shirt off his back for anyone as though there would be no repercussion. He would keep her on the phone all night talking about how the government has helped him now more than ever when Cecilia knows that truth may only be his, though he continues with not a hint of danger, because he wants Cecilia to know that he is okay, that he needs her to stay in New York, to keep up her guitar playing and her singing, and to remember that Los Gibarros will always be how he reminds Cecilia of home, and how they will also remind him of Cecilia. And so she buries each Gibarro all over her room, she says, like acorns and squirrels who want to keep their memories fresh.